Okay, I'll wait to see if anyone joins me, considering I am an hour and a half later than when I said I'd join. So I'll give it a couple of minutes. Oh, hello. Hi. Okay, people are joining. Hey guys. Sorry that I'm an hour and a half late. I'm still working, basically, is what happened. So got some crazy deadlines and just still working. That's why I have my glass of wine with me, because it's just been the longest 2 weeks of my life, basically. But how are you guys? What's going on? What's going on in your world? I have a few, I wouldn't say topics. Yeah, I guess I've got a few things that we can discuss today. I done a chat earlier with a guy called Andy. He goes by the name of Andy Clever Cash, and he's got a really awesome website, blog. He talks about personal finance, and he really talks about personal finance from the perspective of like savings and kind of current events in the UK, what's happening. So he's got a really cool blog, and he also does a podcast. So I did a chat with him earlier today for about 30 minutes during my lunch break, which is a bit crazy. But yeah, I did that today, and we talked about some topics that I thought would be interesting actually to speak about. And one of those topics is about the change in the train lines in the UK. I don't know if you've seen on the news, they are making a change. So basically, it's been privatized for, I don't know, 50 something years. And the government have stepped in to say that actually they're going to take control. So they're forming some kind of committee. I can't remember what it's called, something about British Railway or something. And they are forming a committee to basically take over the railways in the UK. And it's so overdue. If you are like me and you've been on trains quite a bit, you know that the delays can be awful. The prices are continuously being hiked. And I'm really, really hoping that this new shift will change things. So I don't know if you guys have heard that. If you haven't, look it up. They're talking about a flexi season ticket. So basically, instead of so like me, for instance, when I used to go into the office, I would go into the office 3 days a week, but I obviously couldn't buy a season ticket for 3 days a week because it just wouldn't work out cheaper. It didn't make any sense. So now they're doing a flexi season ticket. I think currently they're saying it will be 8 days that you can travel in that season ticket, 8 days a month. So they're basically doing it for people who are now working from home more because of the pandemic. So yeah, I thought that was a really awesome change. Let me know what you guys think. Have you heard of it? And another thing that we spoke about today was the working from home situation in the UK, that not as many people as you would think are actually working from home, which I found really interesting. And it's particularly, I guess, seen for people who have higher incomes. So those who have lower incomes generally don't have that privilege as much to work from home. So it's kind of that age-old, disproportionately affected group of people who unfortunately get the short end of the stick all the time. And that's the same case with people from working from home in the UK. They're finding that people on lower incomes don't have that privilege. But it also kind of makes sense because people on lower incomes probably have jobs that don't allow them to work from home. So yeah, those are a few things we talked about. So if you want to check it out, I think his Instagram is Andy Clever Cash. Andy Yep, Andy Clever Cash. He's really awesome. So check him out. Anyway, for those of you who are here, it's fluctuating in numbers, and I understand that I was, like, as I said, an hour and a half late, so people probably can't even join anymore. But for those of you who are here, say hey, let me know who's here. And I probably won't do this for too long today. And I only say that because I have to, after this live, I still have to go back and work, which is crazy. But I'm waiting for somebody to review something. So I thought in this time, I would just jump on this live. So who's here? No one's telling me. I see Ifraz is here. You said hi. Where's my chatty people? No one's up for a chat. If no one's up for a chat, I'll stay on for another maybe 5 minutes, see if anyone joins. And if not, we will keep this short and close. Short and sweet. So one thing that I did want to talk about is cryptocurrency, because obviously you've probably seen what's happened to crypto, and you know what? It just doesn't even shock me in the slightest bit. So as I said a million times on this channel before, I first got into crypto back in 2017, and since then I've just seen up, down. I've seen these dips before, so I wasn't shocked that this was happening. I think, to be honest, it's really, the crypto prices right now are really highly inflated, and it has a lot to do with social media. The likes of Elon Musk has driven up the price crazily and now driven it back down. But the reason for the most recent dip is because of what's happening in China. So in China, they've basically made it illegal, or they've put extra restrictions in terms of using cryptocurrencies in their economy. And China is a big player when it comes to stuff like this. So the fact that their government has cracked down has had an impact on cryptocurrency, which isn't good. So I think I read someone's comment earlier, and I thought it was a good point. Somebody has said, it's interesting because cryptocurrencies are kind of meant to go beyond government and not be controlled by government, but yet they've had such a huge impact by the Chinese government putting restrictions on. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, my portfolio, for instance, was at 3,000. The Coinbase account was at £3,000 maybe a week ago, and now it's down to £1,800. So that's dropped by £1,200 in the space of a week, is what's happened, which is kind of crazy. But obviously for me, it's neither here nor there, because yeah, it's crypto, and I don't expect anything different, I guess. And as I said before, it's just the profit that's in there. So yes, £3,000 looks nicer than £1,800, but it's still just profit. So I can't really complain. But a lot of people have got into crypto in the last month or so. I've seen some stories of people putting their mortgage payments, what they were meant to pay their mortgage for the month, they've put that into Bitcoin, and now look what's happened. Some people have put all their savings into cryptocurrency, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know what's wrong with this world. I don't know, because if you do even just a bit of research, which I would hope people would do, even if you do a tiny bit of research, you'll quickly find out that it's really volatile and it's not safe. And you have to be very careful, but yet people are putting in their life savings. And I think that may be to do with social media. So as much as it's good, social media, it's also not great, because people are doing these silly things. So for those of you who are here, do you have cryptocurrency? Are you panicking, or are you just like, no big deal? And it's not just cryptocurrency that has taken a hit. right now, it's also general stocks and shares. So I uploaded my Trading 212 and free trade portfolio. That's my latest video. And if you've seen it already, then you'll know that my portfolio is not great. So with Trading 212, I've always been doing pretty well, around the 8 to 9% returns is what I was seeing. And I'm currently down to like 1%. It's good that I'm still in the green, but I've not seen it that low before. So on Trading 212, I'm not doing too great. Hey, George, good afternoon, Dee. Good evening, George. It's evening. Good night, basically. But yeah, it's my Trading 212 is not doing great. My eToro, I haven't even been able to log in because, oh, whoa, it went back up. The Trading 212 went back up. I've just checked. Oh, not by much, but it was even worse than what it is now. It's only still up by 2%, but it's looking a bit healthier than it was before. Oh, and Oatly has IPO today. In fact, oh my goodness, now that I just logged on to Trading 212 and the notification told me that Oatly is on the market to be publicly traded and on free trade as well. You can get some Oatly. And so if you don't know what Oatly is a milk. And we live by Oatly in this house. Like the whole milk Oatly one, and it's literally milk made out of oats and water and whatever else they put in it. And I can't explain to you. It's changed my life because I prefer not to drink cow's milk, and almond milk I can't drink, and coconut milk, no way. Everything was just awful. I just was like, this is all tastes like crap. Then even other oat milks, different brands. Alpro oat milk is horrible. Well, in my opinion, it's horrible. And then I found Oatly, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So the fact that they have IPO'd today, because I see this is something when it comes to investing. It's either because you've done a lot of research and you think, okay, this is a good company with good fundamentals. I don't use them. I'm not familiar with them, but I've checked the company and generally, yeah, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Or you're a consumer. And so for me, because I'm such a big consumer of Oatly and I really believe in their product, I'm absolutely going to buy some shares. Although currently it's just having that bar that's going round and round. But I'm going to buy because I love this. So if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Oatly, check it out. So George, you said, I think I'm the only one excited to have a portfolio go down so I can buy some on paydays cheaper and or hopefully worth it in the future. I'm excited too. You're not the only one. The way that I see it is I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is a good time to just get in there. And yeah, I don't see it as bad. Asda's own unsweetened soya milk is good. I don't like soya milk. If I liked soya milk, then I would give it a go. But when you find your thing that like just works, I found my thing that works. So Oatly it is for me. And honestly, if you've not tried it, try the Oatly whole milk. It's in like the darker blue bottle. Don't buy it if it's not in the fridge. If it's on the shelf, it's not the proper version or it's kind of watered down. But if you buy it out of the fridge and it's in the dark blue one, so not the semi-skimmed one, the whole milk one, honestly, tea and coffee is just so much better with Oatly milk. So give it a try. The fact that they IPO'd, I'm so excited. I think I need to buy a fair amount of shares in Oatly. So they're currently trading at, I guess it's crashed because I can't buy. They're currently trading at $20. So that's not too bad, coming pretty high. but I think their market valuation is quite high, to be honest. I saw something like they've got $10.8 billion worth of revenue or something, which seems crazy to me, but perhaps. Oh, Jilly Muck One is my godmother, and she said, "You are so." She is the one who got me into Oatly. I remember when I went to her house, and she was like, "You need to try this oat milk," and I was like, "Oh, oat milk? Why? Why would I try oat milk? That sounds disgusting." And she's like, "No, you need to try it." And I tried it, and I've never looked back. It's the best decision I've ever made. So, thank you. Good to see you here. And just to explain why I've got a glass, well, I don't need to explain, but basically, the reason why I'm late today for my live, for those of you who've just joined, is because of work. So work has been absolutely crazy for the last 2 weeks, and I was trying to finish what I needed to finish before the live, but I couldn't do it, and so that's why I'm an hour and a half late. So my apologies. And I'm not even done with work. But the good thing is I am not working tomorrow, so I'm going to use that time to catch up on like life admin that I've neglected, but also my Finance D blog, my website, I've neglected because I've just had no time. So it's always a balancing act, between work and life and YouTube. And then at the bottom of that poll is generally my blog. So my blog only gets attention when everything else, I have time for everything else. But because I haven't had time, I haven't done my blog. So tomorrow I'm going to get some new blog posts up, and I'm going to get a newsletter out. So if you haven't signed up to my newsletters, then you could just go over to the blog, financed.com. It's easy to find me, and sign up for the newsletter. So I'm going to do all of that tomorrow because I am off from work. So that's great. George, you said, did you start TikTok? Honestly, George, it's also on my list of things to do. I want to do it. We had that conversation, and I think it will be a good thing. So George and I had this conversation about TikTok, and basically he was saying it's a really good way to drive traffic to your channel. And so I said, oh yeah, I'm going to try that. All you got to do on TikTok is make a video, put some music on, dance to the music, point at a few things, and like have some funny quotes. So that's what I'm making myself look like an idiot. That's basically what I got to do. Investing, this is why you should invest, and put like some interesting quotes, and some people do. And then they just do that. So I just basically need to do that on TikTok and make a video that's about it. So I'll get onto it. But again, that's even lower on my list. My blog is a priority over TikTok because I haven't started. So it is on my list of things to do, but I just haven't got around to doing it yet. And then in other news in terms of my YouTube, guys, it's incredible. I am so close to being officially monetized on YouTube. So for those of you who don't know what monetization is, it just means that ads will be placed on your videos, and then the YouTube creator or whoever, so me, I would get paid for the ads that are on my video. And in order to reach monetization, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, which obviously I've achieved already. And then you have to have 4,000 watch hours. And that's the bit that's been obviously harder because I reached 1,000 subscribers, maybe 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So I've now been waiting to reach the hours. So yeah, that's basically what's happened. And I'm so close. I'm like 150 hours. Oh, that probably sounds like a lot. That is a lot, but I'm about 150 hours away from that. And so I'm like, oh my God, it's so close. I remember looking at the beginning, and because it's got this little barometer that shows you how far away you are. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to reach that. It's going to take me years to reach that. And the fact that I'm probably going to reach that in the next month or so. And that's just incredible because I have been on YouTube officially 7 months. Is it 7 months? May, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 7 months officially. And yeah, I'm just excited. So Georgie said, you will soon hit it. Thank you. I'm so excited. And the thing is, YouTube sent an email out today to people who have channels and said, hey guys, basically as of June 1st, whether you're monetized or not, we're going to put ads on your videos. I'm like, that's so rude. So you're going to put ads on my video even if I wasn't monetized. So my audience would have to watch it even if I hadn't reached that monetization. So after seeing that today, in my head, I was like, no, I need to reach this, because if YouTube, sorry, I've got my screen giving me like, if YouTube are going to be putting ads on my videos anyway, I may as well benefit from it. So now I'm like, okay, before June 1st, got to get going. So that's what I'm doing. On hindsight, you said, hi Dee, what do you think of the Dave Ramsey baby steps? Oh, that's a good question. I've not spoken about Dave Ramsey in a while. So Dave Ramsey baby steps, I absolutely love, because I think they are such a nice way of making it simple in terms of things you should do and things you should consider to get yourself to a place of financial peace. And so I love the Dave Ramsey baby steps. I think they're fantastic. And I think they are a good place to start, especially. And oh, by the way, for you guys who are here, can you give me a like so that the YouTube algorithm is like, oh yeah, people are liking this video. Thanks. But Dave Ramsey baby steps, and thanks guys. Dave Ramsey baby steps are great. Like the first time, so he's got a book called The Total Money Makeover. And if you haven't read that book yet, totally recommend it. He breaks down the baby steps and why you need to focus on what you need to focus on. And so they're just great. So the first baby step is obviously the emergency fund of £1,000. I'm just going to try and reel them off my head, but my head is, I've been working too hard. I can't do it right now. But the first baby step I know is the emergency fund. And so, yes, when you hear £1,000, that doesn't sound like the recommendation that people say of having 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved in an emergency fund. But his reason for stating that you only need £1,000 or $1,000 is because your next goal is to work on your debt. And 1,000 generally is enough to cover most expenses, not all, but most emergencies. So if something was to come up, your car, or something was to happen and you needed a bit of an emergency money, £1,000 would most likely cover it. And so that is the first step. Then the second step is to pay down your debt, snowball or avalanche. So snowball means that you work on the smallest step first and you work your way to the largest step. And the reason for that is just the psychology behind it. So, paying down. And I actually did that. I'd done that method. So I worked on paying down a smaller debt first because it just felt like, oh, well, this is achievable. And so when you get one debt out of the way and one debt done, you do think to yourself, oh my God, I can do this. And that's why he recommends doing that method, because it's the psychology behind it. You want to keep that motivation going. But then you've got the avalanche method where you pay down your debt according to the interest rates. So whichever debt has the highest interest rate, you pay down first. So if you have a credit card with an 18% APR, you're going to pay that down versus a loan that has a 3% interest rate. So you work it out like that. I can't remember what the next. Why am I throwing a blank on the baby steps? Like I knew them at the back of my hand. Give me a second. I done an Instagram post, I think, on the baby steps. Did I not? I thought I did. But yeah, Dave Ramsey baby steps, basically think they're great. You should do it. And it's great in terms of just getting yourself. Oh, I think I just saw that. What have I done? Babies, yeah. So save £1,000, pay down debt. Oh yeah, and then top up your emergency fund with 3 to 6 months worth of your living costs. So this is why it's good. Yeah, you start with 1,000, but then you eventually work your way up to covering 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. And having that in an emergency fund just gives you that freedom, that relaxation, that if you were to lose your job tomorrow, you can still live for 3 months. And that's what it's all about. So yeah, I love it. Cassandra, you said, "Hi Dee, what do you think of the UK student loan debt? At the moment, I don't earn enough to pay it out of my paycheck, and feel like the money would be better spent paying off my mortgage or investing." 150%. You're right. The UK student debt situation is just really interesting. So, for a bit of background, for those of you who don't know, I didn't actually study in the UK. I studied I got my bachelor's degree in America, and then I got my master's degree in France. But I am aware of the student loan system. My husband studied here, so I understand how it all works, and how his student loan situation works. But it's like, it's basically a tax. And, we're very fortunate to have a system like that where it works as a tax, because in certain countries, and I think of my friends in the US, they're paying so much money towards their loans, and it's not a tax. It is, you have to pay it back, and if you don't pay it back, if you were to die, then it's going to roll on to your children or your spouse. So that debt sticks with you. The UK debt is like a tax, and it doesn't make sense. In most cases, it doesn't make sense to pay it off in full, unless it's like automatically coming out. So if it's not automatically coming out of your paycheck, do not worry about it. And the person to look up in terms of this is Martin Lewis. He really covers this exactly how you need it. He breaks it down in details. In fact, I was going to do a reaction video to that a while ago, and I never got around to doing it. And I think I may still do that. But yeah, he breaks it down perfectly. And yeah, Cassandra, thank you. I feel less guilty now with your approval. That's cute. Thanks. Obviously, do your own research, but totally. If I had student loans here in the UK, I wouldn't even be worrying. I'd be like, kind of is what it is. The system is set up where after 30 years, whatever you haven't paid off gets wiped. So if in those 30 years you've only paid £5,000 worth of your student loan off, but you had a £30,000 student loan, after 30 years, the rest is wiped, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, don't worry about it. You're definitely better off paying, investing or paying down your mortgage 100%, instead of trying to find student finance to pay them. Don't do that. Because they'll just take out what they need to out of your paycheck. So I wouldn't worry. And Mark Wells, he said, "Hi." Hey, Mark. Tom, you said, "Big fan of the channel." Oh, thank you. Can't remember how I discovered, but have found your videos really helpful. Learning a lot. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Tom. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel and you're finding the content useful. The next thing that I really, really, really need to work on is the technology aspect of my channel. So I've bought a camera, finally. I'm going to show you guys because I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of my baby. Look at her, isn't she beautiful? So this is my new baby. This was my old recording baby. So, I've definitely stepped up my game. However, so my last video, my latest video, Trading 212, I did record on this camera, and this camera actually does have amazing quality, but I couldn't figure out the focus situation. So the quality doesn't even look better because the focus is out. So I need to work on that. I need to do that's another thing on my list tomorrow, as I'm not working. I will figure out a way to get this focus situation sorted. There's lots of YouTube videos to figure out how to use this Canon EOS M50. So I just need to do that basically. But I'm just so happy that I got it. I bought it off of eBay because yeah, I think these cameras with the lens work out to like 600 £600, and I just find that astronomical. But obviously, it's what you pay for a good camera. But I found it on eBay for, I think it was 400. I got it for, and I was like, that's brilliant. That's way cheaper than paying 600. And honestly, it came in a box. Everything was wrapped up. It was almost like the previous owner didn't use it, and they did. But he did say on eBay he only used it for a couple of months, and he put in there the receipt that he when he bought it. Everything was in here, perfectly wrapped. It just felt like I went to Curry's to buy the camera. So I was like, well, I saved £200, so I'm winning. But yeah, so I need to sort out the camera, but I also need to sort out the sound. So some of my videos may seem edited weird, and the reason why they're edited weird is because there's parts of the video where the microphone is clipping, and it's really loud and really bad, so I have to edit it weirdly. So I'm gonna get a new microphone as well. But back to this, on hindsight, you said, what's a good way of saving up for a house deposit in your opinion? I have got a Moneybox lifetime ISA account, and I've got a stocks and shares account. Save for 4 years, then put it all towards the deposit. I mean, to be honest, on hindsight, you sound like you know exactly what the best way is to save up for a house deposit. How we did it was same as you, lifetime ISA. So if you do have a partner, then make sure that you're maxing out your lifetime ISA, and so are they. And that's what my husband and I did. So we maxed out our lifetime ISAs so we could get the most money as possible. And it was easy in the home buying process. The conveyancer sorted all of that out. Solicitor got the money, so they have to withdraw the funds. So you don't withdraw the funds from your LISA, they have to do it because it has to go through a formal process to show that it's actually going towards a house deposit. And so yeah, LISA would be the thing that I'd recommend. You've got a stocks and shares account, which is amazing as well. And the only other thing I would say is sacrifice for a bit, I guess. So just check your spending, check your budget. So make it a priority that every single month you're putting away to your house deposit, and check if there are areas where you can spend a bit less and save a bit more. Yeah, that's it really. If you can get a bit more money at work, try that. I'm quite encouraging of people trying to get more money at work. And I say this out of experience, and having those difficult conversations and somewhat uncomfortable conversations about salaries. But so many of us don't get paid what we need to get paid, or what the company will pay us, because we just don't ask. So, try to increase your income, because when you increase your income, you can save more. Check your spending, create a budget, a monthly budget that you can stick by, and dedicate yourself to saving a certain amount every month. Max out your LISA so that's £4,000 a year, so that you get £1,000 top up from the government into your LISA. And yeah, a stocks and shares ISA is perfect as well to invest your money. But yeah, if you've got a 4 or 5 year horizon, then that's good in terms of investing in stocks and shares. Because if you was going to say a year, I would say maybe don't do that, because there's no guarantee. Well, there's never a guarantee, but it's a lot more risky within a year to see a return on your investments. So I wouldn't recommend that. But if you're doing 4 or 5 years, 100%. You sound like you've got it. Philip Ferguson, you said, Cassandra Holmes, I would never pay it back voluntarily. The way the UK student loan is set up, it's an extra tax for high income earners. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I would never recommend anyone to pay it off voluntarily at all. So you've got the right mindset, Cassandra, to pay off your mortgage more and invest more, and just enjoy the fact that they haven't come for you. And one day when your salary gets to a certain point, they are going to come for you. So just enjoy it right now. Mark, you said the last couple of weeks have been tough being new to investing. I'm currently in the red. I'm in it for the long time though, so we'll ride it out. Exactly. That's what it's about. Be in it for the long term. And yeah, it is tough when you start investing and you just see red, because you think, wait a minute, I'm putting in my hard-earned money and you're telling me that if I was to sell right now, I would get less than what I put in? That sounds crazy. So yeah, it is tough, but because you are going in for the long haul, you'll be absolutely fine. And the way that you got to see it is right now, if you can invest right now and everything's lower or devalued in a certain way, or not devalued, undervalued, then you're getting a bargain. So even though it's in red right now, it will eventually, hopefully, go up. And that means you're getting in at a good time, because the market is kind of lower, and right now is a good time to start investing. So even though for the next couple of months it may look turbulent, you're going to see in the long term it's going to benefit you. Just like last year, if you invested this time last year, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm in the red. Like everything's down, everything looks bleak. Not this time, maybe 2 months before. March last year, March, April, things were looking bleak for investors. But now they've hugely gained because there was a huge dip. They kept investing. They didn't listen to the media. They didn't worry about what was going on with the stock market. They just kept it going. And now they've just got these crazy gains because they invested while everything was so cheap and while it was low. So just see it as a bit of a sell. So it's January sales. Pretend it's January sales. Just keep investing. You said thanks for response. You're welcome. What was that? I was going to say something and I can't remember. I think it was about saving. So I will be working with this company called Stepladder. Check them out on Google. And basically, for those of you who, every culture has a different name. So in the Caribbean culture, they call it partner. I don't know what they call it in other cultures. And basically, what it is, I've never done partner or anything like that. But basically, what it is it's the idea of you're like in a circle, and everyone saves a certain amount every single month, and every month one person gets that full amount. So say there's 10 people in a circle, and they're all putting in £100 a month. Every month, you have to stay in the circle. So it's a circle of trust. And this is how it generally works in the community. It's a circle of trust. Everyone puts in £100, and every month, one person gets that £1,000. However, growing up, I've heard some horror stories when it came to partner, because there was no regulation. You just had to hope that everyone kept putting in their £100, so that when it came around to you, you would get your £1,000. That would be your hope. However, a company has basically made a formal version of this, which is really, really cool. And, it's a lot more regimented in the fact that they ask what your annual income is. They check to see if you can actually afford to put in what you say you're going to put in every month. And it's a really cool system, and I like how they formalized it. And they do a soft credit check. And if you don't pay into it, once you're in a circle and you've committed, if you don't pay into it, it can impact your credit score, which is a good thing for those people who are committed, because obviously you want people to actually pay into it, because everyone needs to get their turn to get their money. Anyway, I say all this because I'm partnering with them, because I love that they've done a formal concept of this. So if any of my Caribbean folk or African folk, or even if you're whatever, if you've heard of this concept before and you're like, oh yeah, I'm interested, I'm going to be creating circles. And basically, I know one of my circles I'm going to do is £1,000. So the goal will be to save £1,000 over 10 months. And so that means everybody has to put in £100 every month, and you have to do it. There's no backing out. So don't do it if you can't afford it, because it will impact your credit score negatively. And the goal is, over that 10 months, you've saved £100. But in your second month, you may be the person who gets that £1,000. So you may have only put in £200 so far, but you are chosen that month to get the £1,000. So you technically get your savings quicker, but you have to still continue putting in that £100 for the remainder of that term. So that's how it works. I will be doing a Instagram post about it. So yeah, they reached out to me. I was like, that's cool. I like it. So they give me, for basically advertising it and stuff, they will give me a £50 referral bonus. But the cool thing is that they let me choose how I want to divvy up that £50. So per person, they allow me to split that £50 with whoever signs up. So for instance, the way that I'm thinking I want to do it is I'll take £20, whoever else is in the circle takes £20, we can split it, and then £10 of it will go towards the fees, because there's a monthly fee. And so I really liked the fact that I could split that as well, because I thought, I don't want to take £50 per person. And they were like, you don't have to do that. So some people, you can just do, you can get £20 and you can give someone else £20. And I was like, that's awesome. So anyway, I'm going to be doing that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a YouTube video on it. I don't think I am. So those of you who are here, you know I'm going to be doing it, and I'll be talking about it on my Instagram. So if you're interested, do follow me over there, because you'll see a post probably sometime next week about it. But I'm excited because the goal of all of this is to get people to save at least £1,000. And so I'm really excited to be doing this, because I'm hoping it will encourage people, especially for people who have a hard time saving. This isn't for people who have loads of savings and can do it with their eyes closed. I'm really doing this for people who struggle when it comes to saving, and being in that circle, you've just got that extra motivation, because you know that other people are relying on you and you've committed to it. And so when you commit to something, it's amazing how you just make something work. So so that's what I'll be doing. And I'll talk a bit more about it on my Instagram. So yeah, Finance D, over on Instagram as well. Right, I can't believe I've been on here for 42 minutes, and I've got, after I log off of here, I've got to still work. And it's just been, guys, it's been the longest 2 weeks ever. Longest 2 weeks. It's been long, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a light, so I'm not working tomorrow, and next week I'm having a shorter week, and the week after I'm completely off of work. So I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what's keeping me going, because sometimes, and you know what I was thinking? Today I was sitting here at my desk at one point, and my eyes were hurting from staring at the screen so intently. I think it was like a 4-hour stretch, and I just hadn't even looked away from my screen. And I thought, oh my God, this is crazy. And I was like, this is why I'm striving for financial independence. Because although I do enjoy my job, I would definitely work less. And yeah, that's something that I'll only have the privilege to do once I have financial independence. So today I was just thinking, I was like, this is my why. Don't forget your why. Don't forget why you're grinding. And that is totally one of the reasons why. Her Penny Potentiary said, exciting. Yes, it's exciting. So you'll see more about it on Instagram, Helen. So look out for that. But yeah, again, my sincere apologies, guys, for saying that I'd be on at 7:30 and not actually coming on until closer to 8:30. My apologies. Wasn't my intention. But what I did want to do, I thought, even though I'm late, because I said I'm going to come on, I want to come on. I really, want to stick to my word, even if it's late, just show my face. If you have any last questions, just shoot them, or questions or comments or anything, shoot them in the box before I log off. And thanks for joining me. It's a funny story about this wine, this rosé that I'm drinking. At our wedding, we bought so much alcohol because we were scared to run out. I had dreams before our wedding that we'd run out of alcohol, like not dreams, nightmares that we'd run out. And so I said to my husband, I was like, listen, we need to buy enough because I have a fear that we're going to run out. And basically it was like a dry hire venue, so we had to bring our own alcohol. And I was like, that would just be so embarrassing to me if at the bar someone went for a drink and we ran out. So we went overboard. So much overboard that we had like 30 bottles of wine left after the wedding. We had just so much stuff. And so a year and a half later, we still have drink from the wedding because we just had so much left over. So I'm like, wow, okay. So when we go to parties, we've got drink to bring and everything. So yeah. Elle, you said, I have that screen headache too. Oh, I've had it for 3 days, and I also thought this is why I'm reaching towards FI. Honestly, I was thinking to myself, like my husband was like, take a break from the screen. And I said to him, I do want to take a break. But the other thing is, if I take a break, then it just prolongs my day. So it's kind of like that catch-22. I'm like, yeah, I can take a half an hour break. No one's watching me. I can do that. But if I do that, that means I've got half an hour more that I need to work at the end of my day. So yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, we've got to always just keep our why in. And it's not to say that I will stop working. That's not the goal, but just to have that freedom of, I'm going to choose, I'm going to reduce my hours. I'm only going to work 3 days a week. What I'd love to do is like blogging, like this type of stuff. I'd love to do this 2 days a week, full time, do this 2 days a week, do my current job 3 days a week. That would be the life. That'd be so amazing. But right now, it's just not feasible. So until then, I'll keep grinding how I'm grinding. And yeah, that's about it. Trying to think, was there anything else that I needed to mention? I don't think so. My goal is to get out my next video this Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, again, thank you all so much for your support throughout this YouTube journey so far. I honestly love it. I love talking to you guys. I love creating videos. I love the fact that it's helping people with their finances. And it's just one of the most rewarding things ever. So I'm gonna jump off now. If you've just joined, then you can watch it back on replay. I know a lot of people do end up watching it back on replay, which I appreciate. So you can do that. And yeah, I hope you guys have the most wonderful evening and your weekend when it comes. I hope you have a great weekend. Yep, see you again soon. Yep, Mark, see you soon. Thanks for joining and thanks for being a recent subscriber. If you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the videos. Just subscribe. Subscribe. It's free, guys. Likes are free, cost you nothing. Subs are free. Subscribing is free, costs you nothing. So do make sure you do that as well. And I will see you guys again soon. I saw that extra like. Someone was like, oh yeah, I haven't liked this. It's free. Let me do that real quick. Thanks. Much appreciated. Oh, and another one. Thank you guys. And yeah, have a great evening. We'll speak soon. Not next week, but the week after. But I'm over on Instagram. A few people have been DMing me recently and stuff, which is cool. So I'm always up for a chat on Insta. And yeah, have a good evening and speak soon. Bye guys, take care. You guys have a good evening too.